I find that I don't respond well to the plan, draft, redraft approach. That's not to say that redrafting isn't absolutely vital. I think it definitely is. But for me, that redrafting process comes from an external source. I need other people to tell me. Sometimes when you write a story, to be honest, you're so close to it, you can't see what's wrong with it. I certainly find that when I dip into my stories again. My book was, my collection of short stories was published about 8 years ago. And when I dip back into them and read them, at readings or whatever, I find myself wondering where that came from. How did I write that? And realising that I would write it very differently now. There are a lot of stories I'm very proud of, but there are some stories I'm quite embarrassed by reading them again because I would do them very differently. So redrafting for me comes at the point where it's gone out to an audience, it's gone out to people who respond in some way. And if I get the response that I want, I'll tinker with it. If I get the response I don't want, I may make major changes. Short stories, I have to say, I don't usually tend to need an awful lot of redrafting. It tends to be at detail level. Certainly the bigger the piece of work, the more redrafting you have to do. And I certainly know that if and when I finish the novel I'm writing at the moment, it will go through a very serious editing phase because I will get a lot of input from other people on how the whole thing hangs together. So the longer the piece, the more redrafting you have to do. As I've said before, I think it's really, really important that you listen to people's advice, you listen to people's response, but that doesn't mean you have to take that advice. Because what the advice does is it either allows you to reassess your work and say, yeah, I can see the point there and it would be better if I did X, Y and Z. Or it allows you to crystallise your thoughts and defend what you've already written and say, no, I wrote this that way because it works for these reasons. And that, I think, is very important. So, yeah, editing, redrafting is vital, but it's vital for different people in different ways. For me, it's very much a process that comes at the end of that initial splurge of creativity that gets that piece there.